Verbal Pick Radio, everyday people. This is where we give you a verbal image of life. And today I want to talk about H-Town, but I want to talk about the west side of H-Town. All the greats that come out the west, man. From Langham Creek, now you got Side Springs, you got Side Lakes, you got all the schools up in Cypress, all the way to Katy, back to Brookshire. I remember hitting Brookshire at the Grand Prix. Captain Jack was a DJ. When the police officers in Brookshire, we coming from the west, they pulling us over, telling us, don't come back down here no more. You know, they didn't want us in Brookshire, but we had fun in Brookshire. Part of my boy Conan, his brother Rocky, and Pebbles, and the whole out there in Brookshire, man. What's up? You know what I mean? Definitely, man. They still holding it down out there, Brookshire Royal. But on Highway 6 West Little York, 529 Fry, Barker, Cypress, the whole up and there through Clay, the whole west side of H-Town, right? It's definitely going down. West side of H-Town produced Muhammad 2G, Mr. Don't You Go Nowhere, Red Rum, my boy Marcus Mudd. We got so many different people that's coming out that west that made an impact on this rap game. I believe Carpetone Conspiracy was back out in the 80s, coming out the west side with. That was Pop, where you know him now as Muhammad 2G. You had Marcus Mudd, Black Market. You had JP, the Minister of Information. KC, the OG. All of them, man. I mean, giving good music, man, and good information. Anybody I missed, man, I apologize, but I'm not writing this down. This is going straight off of memory, and this going back into the 80s. And these brothers still putting it down. You'll see V. Glover, man, he on the guitar with Marcus Mudd. They still touring, man, making music, putting it down. Out of Langham Creek, you had Birdie Manuel play with the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, coming out the west. My boy Mike Clark was putting it down, man, from here and through college. You know, he was OSU. Then you had just so many, man, out there doing what they do. You know what I mean? Coming out, representing the West. And I told somebody at one time, man, that out in the West is going to be the new Black Mecca. And I made that statement about 10 years ago. And y'all sit back and just watch. Just watch how things unfold out here in this West. I mean, you got a lot of black-owned business out in this West. And I'm not just talking about barbershops. Yeah, my boy, Abdul Hakeem Jihad, he owning a pharmacist. S&K. You got barbershops out here, man. You got black-owned stores as far as markets out here, restaurants out here. You know, these people out in this West, man, is definitely understanding because, but the difference is because a lot of the territory out here, it was just land. And when they started building, black folks was building homes from the ground up, and then they created the community. They moved and they created a community out here in the West. It wasn't set up for us like a lot of communities were set up for black people coming out of the 60s, or when they had separate housing, unfair housing practices. And so, you were relegated to certain areas where across this railroad tracks, this is where only place you could stay. But in the West, it's a little bit different. You pick and choose, and then people start migrating out to the West and start building and doing business with one another. And we kind of understanding that hey, we got to put aside our differences and start supporting one another. And y'all make sure y'all go to cdbaby.com/COLBLAC. Support me. Go to Barnes and Nobles. Go to Amazon. Support the book Consequence by Vince Cole Muhammad. Get that book, read that book, make that book a case study. Matter of fact, we're going to get into the book in our future broadcast. But I just wanted to touch bases and let from Houston, citywide and the outskirts of Houston, let them know that it's a lot of people, especially a lot of minorities, that's moving out here on the West, and that foundation has been laid since the early 80s. I got to give a shout out to a lot of people on the West. Boy D. Fleming, that put it down. Michelle Carey, Marcus Taylor, all the Taylor brothers. His sister Angie, I put it down for E.T., his brother, them Lamb brothers, J.J., Keaton, Kevin, Harris boys, all of them, man. Definitely, we're a solid unit, man. We understand pride, you know what I'm saying, what it means to lift your head up and do things in a certain way, but do things in a way that's productive, definitely. And I know my boy Muhammad 2G, he working on a new album. I did 3 albums, and we independently, though. We doing it independently off our own blood, sweat, and tears. We're not asking them for nothing. We support each other. You got my boy D Rhymes, and Gary Kelly. You got the boys from the 6. They still holding it down, man. Representing this Highway 6. They putting it down, putting out new music. Make sure y'all check them out, My boy Greg Taylor running the boutique. Last time I saw him, he was telling about the boutique that his wife was running. They definitely putting it down. It's just everybody out there, man, that I know and who knows me, Eddie Machete, I appreciate y'all. Y'all keep putting in work, keep striving, keep doing business, keep holding up not just the West, but being an example for us in any endeavor that we choose to get into. Do it with strength and with pride, and know that you are somebody. Don't let racism, which is a science, a system, as Nita Fuller once said, it's a science that holds up the system of white supremacy. But for the most part, we all understand our roles and things that needs to be done. And we do these things, for one, for our families and ourselves, but two, to show that the negative stereotypes that were placed on us as a people is false. We don't play into the negative stereotype that somebody else writes scripts and say, well, we need to find somebody black to play this role because we want this script and this the negative image, or this is the image we want to send out to the world, something that we created at a table where there was nobody black at the table, but we say we want our blacks to be portrayed this way in American society. And you will have some out there that will play that part, but you will have those out there who will refuse to play that part because they know the value within themselves and they keep striving. So I gotta give when you run into black people on the West, they proud, they build, they love their community, and they out here striving. We put our mind to something, we'll come together collectively and make it happen. I got to give a big shout out to the thing that Daniel Taylor does for the basketball tournament. I had an opportunity. I made 2. I got to make more, but the events that I did go to and the after party and the love and the people, man, that come out and support the baseball game and the basketball games, and and it's all good. the food out there, man. They come together because that's the spirit. The spirit is we come together to create our own destiny. That's the spirit of the West, So big what up, and any of these artists that I mentioned, from them boys from the Six, Muhammad 2G, Marcus Mudd, Vince Glover, man, y'all support these boys. Anybody from the West that's doing, support Michelle Dunn Carey's radio show. Support anybody coming out this West that's doing something for themselves. Make sure y'all give their support. So make sure y'all support Brother Eric Muhammad. Brother Eric Muhammad, Assistant Minister, Brother Robert Muhammad, Mos 45 here in Houston. Listen to his lectures. Go out and see the brother. Support Brother Eric Muhammad. Langham Creek grad. Support him. Make sure y'all get out, man. Support each other. Vince Glover, good brother, man. Good heart. Vince Glover is the type of brother, man, he's not afraid to tell or to tell you how he feels about a situation, but he's always willing to help, and he will do his part. If it's a part to be played, V Glover will do that part unselfishly. He would just, come on, let's work, let's get it done, let's build what he need me to do. I'll be the, what's the goal? You have your end together, I have my end together, let's build, and it's that simple, and that's how it should be. You have an object, or you have a goal, you define the goal, you define the terms, you define what you want out of the situation or the deal. You make sure that you go over the mathematics and make sure that it can be achieved and it can be done. Even when it comes down to the money aspect of a business or doing business, make sure you discuss the money. Put the money on the table. Make sure everybody know what each other is expecting out of the situation or out of the deal. Don't leave nothing on the table. Go over everything. I want this percentage, or I want this much amount of money for my services. Well, how we going to arrive at this point? Can we sell this many tickets? Or we'll work it out to where we get this amount from the door, or we'll work, and then you will get your percentage or your amount and your amount, and we make sure everything is done. Then we take a percentage of that and we put back and make sure we're giving something back to the people, whether it's something that they can learn from or something that they can buy that would benefit or enhance their lives. If it's food product, make sure it's nutritious way they can get something good out of whatever we present to the people. So once again, I got to give a shout out, V Glove, everybody, man, that's on that Highway 6 went to that LCP. You know what I mean? Even, but I'm noticing today. I'm noticing South Springs is doing. I'm looking at Salt Lakes and all the other schools of South Falls around this area. Man, they competing. I mean, these kids. I registered my daughter for school the other day, and I'm looking at these kids' eyes, and they hungry. They want knowledge. They want to build. They ready to go. They want to learn. They want to prove that these negative stereotypes on these TV shows is not them. They don't want to live by or be perpetrated in a negative light. That all young black people, all they do is walk the streets with their pants down, and all the women can't wait till they can get their turn on the stripper pole. That's not what's going on out here in the West. Now, as you know, every neighborhood has its crime, and every neighborhood has its gangs. And so when you hear about the gangs and the things that took place at the schools or whatever, that's a small fraction of the majority who wants to portray themselves in a good light, man. So y'all continue to support. Keep listening to the radio. Keep sending your likes out, man. We up to almost 400 now views, and I'm just starting this thing, but it was on my heart to do it, and I did it. This Verbal Pick Radio, and I'm out.